Okay. Hello, everybody. It's Friday. It's Brian. It's a hot mess in security. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am. I can't even say shocked and dismayed because this is. There's just a lot of bullshit going on in the United States. Sorry if you don't live in the U.S. and you're tired of hearing about it, but it's just unfortunate to see the slow death of the United States. And to be honest, I would not have imagined seeing ourselves on the Axis, on the Axis side of World War III. But it sounds like that's what's going to end up happening eventually. So I'm going to just stream. I'm going to do some Python. We're going to go to boot.dev. I'm just going to do some Python stuff for the next hour and a half or so. And really, hold on a second. Okay, let me. Yeah, wow, that is interesting. The Macisms are interesting in how things are connected on that. So, boink, there we go. So, I've mentioned boot.dev a few times, and they have various classes, the backend developer paths, so you can learn various things. I did find it interesting that they want you to learn Python first and then learn how to use Linux and then Git. It feels like in the world of a backend developer career path, you would want to learn Linux and all the pipes first, right? So you'd learn Linux, then you learn Git, and then you'd learn Python, that kind of thing. And then all the other things. But as it stands right now, the first thing I can tell you to do is learn Python. Then you're going to learn Linux, which for me would be like, Python's way up here, right? And then Linux is going to be way down here on the easy level for me because I've used Linux forever. Git would be kind of like here's Linux, and so Git would be like up here a little bit. I've been doing all three of these kind of in the same time because Linux is a gimme, right? Go in and look at what's a file system, or right now I'm just zooming through all of this stuff, so learning directories and Linux commands, and it's like, fine. I did not realize, I appreciate learning Linux in 2025. If you've never touched an OS other than Windows or Mac before, I would argue if you've touched a Mac, maybe you've touched some Linux command line stuff, but the fact that they start you off learning Python is like boom for me, right? The other two things are like command line stuff, which I'm fairly, I want to say confident with, but I'm, it's not awful, right? So, I'm learning this again. So some of the stuff that I'm learning in Python is review when I've tried to learn it in previous events. So. Turn off studio mode here. So in a Mac for OBS, for those of you who are nerds with OBS, it has three different ways you can capture things. You've got the entire screen capture, which is exactly what I've done this time because I've had issues. So the problem is it captures an area on the screen. So when I can move the app, I can completely remove the browser window from the site. Then you can capture the application itself. And then there's a third option, which I haven't quite figured out how all of these work right. In Windows, it was like application window. And then you can move the window around all over the place, and it doesn't matter where you put it, it'll collect that app. And so I was trying to move that earlier to get it to move it around on my screen here, and then I did that, and I was like, oh, well, the screen doesn't show up on there anymore. So at least this time I remembered to turn the audio on. So small win here. So last night we had the B-Sides San Diego Volunteer Zoom call, which was great. Found out that there's going to be some pre-events that are going to be going on, which will be announced on social media. If you're interested and you want to come down to San Diego in end of March, it's about a month from now. We still have tickets, so you can go to bsidessd.org, I think. bsidessd.org. No, not bsidessd.org. What is it? B-Sides San Diego. Yeah, bsidessandiego.org. Okay, there it is. America's Finest B-Sides. There it is. Yes. So let me grab that, paste it in. Come down and join us. We're expecting, if it doesn't rain, a huge turnout. The call for papers is closed. I believe they're going to have an after event at the Aztec Lanes, which is on San Diego State University's campus. Actually, we're going to have B-Sides at San Diego SDSU campus. Excellent venue, by the way. I gooned at it last year. Very, very well received. A lot of folks enjoyed. They enjoyed the time there. Unfortunately, it was raining, like serious rain. And in San Diego, that tends to keep people away. So we're hoping for a better turnout. Actually, it wasn't bad to have it. I think that was the first time they were having it at that venue. So we were expecting 400-ish people, and I think we had like 2/3 of that. So we were actually expecting more people this year. Hopefully, no rain. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, looking forward to seeing folks. If you're interested in coming and hanging out, there is. I guess I can go back to the browser window. There we go. So these are the sponsors. Secure Ideas was there last year. I actually sponsored it last year at the bronze level. I was sponsoring it and I was volunteering at the event, which they told me was like, that's not how you do any of this. We also got a picture of the badge that we're going to have, which is excellent. It looks very nice. It has a, what do they call that? The DEF CON has the shitty little socket or whatever they call that thing, where you can add on things to increase capabilities. Like you can add a pin or something, a pin out that would allow you to make blinky lights or whatever. So it's going to be a very cool badge. So it's got a nice little LED screen on it, and I think that there's some games and stuff that you'll be able to play with it, kind of like how we had last year. I think there was like I don't want to say rock paper scissors, but it was something similar. They're trying to compete with DEF CON badges, which this one is a pretty cool badge, I won't lie. So if you're into badge life, go check that out. Yeah, SDSU. And then the Aztec Lanes is really awesome. They rented out basically the entire bowling lane. And sorry, I'm getting a late afternoon email at work. So, yep. Okay. Yes. Okay, cool. And so we rented out the entire bowling alley, and there's like 12 lanes, and you can just bowl until 10 o'clock. And I think there's like drink tokens. So if you want to have alcohol or an adult beverage, you can. So I think they're still taking sponsors if you wanted to. I mean, if that's something your company wanted to do, you can definitely do that. And you can go and grab the sponsor package. And here's the various social medias where you can go and check them out. B-Sides SD on X, fuck X. Or you can email sponsors at B-Sides. And yeah, you can hit them up and talk to them if you'd like about sponsoring that. So, all right. So continuing on my work with boot.dev, I'm poking around with loops right now for Python. I just finished up logic. Let me see, what did I just finish up? Oh, comparison. So, some of the comparison operators. So the idea of boot.dev for learning Python is we're creating a text-based RPG game, which was the other thing that kind of interested me about boot.dev. It was like, oh, you're gonna, Fantasy Quest, which is very much like I would say a Zork or something similar, where it was like, you're in a town. If you get a beer, it refills your stamina. So creating a function to complete that determines a bartender should serve drinks to customers with conditional statements if you're 21 and older, if the bartender is working, and the time is at least 5 but no later than 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. or what have you. And they start you out with a VS Code type interface. I did this, but I guess once you've cleared it after a certain amount of time, it removes your code off of the screen. So yeah, some of the true/false questions, some of the questions that they ask for that is still left there. But yeah, so they have bonus challenges too, so you can fill out things if you want to. Yeah, it looks like some of my stuff, a lot of the stuff I did didn't make it over. But so I'm a level 25 right now, halfway to Archmage, which is awesome. And every day you can accept a new quest. So I can earn 500 XP within 24 hours, 2,000 XP. So 500 is about, I would say, anywhere between 2 to 5 challenges a day. 2,000 XP is going to be about 10 challenges in a day, and if you do 5,000, I'm assuming that's almost like a chapter. You can game it by putting in an XP potion to increase your XP if you want, 25% XP for an hour. If you know you're going to zoom through an easy part, you could get your 2,000 pretty easy. But anyway. How's everyone doing today? I know it's a Friday. I know that if you're reading the news, if you're not embarrassed by our country, you should be. And yeah, so, feel free to vent, talk on chat, keep it respectful and don't attack other people. But, let me know how you're feeling. And I'm going to go through this and, kind of read through, and I'm going to kind of do my little thing. So if you want to follow along, you can do so. I think you have to pay for this section of boot.dev, but it's not overly expensive if you wanted to go ahead and do that. I can give you a referral code too, I think, if anybody's interested in joining that. Let me see if I can find the referral code for folks. Let me see. Achievement. Recruit a friend. There it is. Recruit a friend. So let me grab that. Recruit a friend. And so there we go. Clipboard. If anybody's interested, you will receive a free mythic chest when your recruit reaches the rank of pupil. So, it's finally streaming. Okay, great. There we go. So if you want to join boot.dev, there you go. Grab that link. I don't know why it's ruining that, but highlight the whole bit there. Let me see. Does it? Yeah. Well, I don't know why it's cutting that off or yeah. There we go. Yeah, grab the whole link. That way, both of us will get a mythic level chest, which will give us stuff and items and things that we can use to fight. So there you go. Or to learn how to use Python and Git and Linux and other things. They just updated their JavaScript as well, so if you're interested in JavaScript, you can also do that. So, all right, loops are a programmer's best friend. Loops allow us to do the same operation multiple times without having to write it explicitly each time. For example, let's pretend I want to print numbers 0 through 9. I could do this, right, the manual way. Even so, it would save me a lot of time typing to use a loop, especially if I wanted to do the same thing 1,000 or 1,000,000 times. A for loop. For loops. Okay. I've done for loops in Bash scripting, but I've not, I haven't had a lot of experience doing them in Python. You know what? We need some music. So that's not the one I wanted. So let's do Interstellar Radio. Actually, let me see. Oh, Interstellar Radio Lo-Fi. There we go. and I just can't do shit right. That's a little weird. I think this is AI generated imagery, but turn that down a little bit so it's not so loud on the screen. All right. There we go. So interstellar radio. There we go. Drink. And yeah, you can grab that if you'd like and listen along. All right. Even so, it would take me a lot of time typing to use a loop, especially if I wanted to do the same thing 1,000 or 1,000,000 times. A for loop in Python is written like this. For I in range 0 through 10, print I, right? I replaces the numbers 0 through 9. In English, the code says start with I equals 0. So I in range 0. If I is not less than 10, it makes a lot of assumptions. That's kind of interesting. It makes a lot of assumptions here. So I would say 0 through 10. So yeah, it's kind of a shorthand. Exit the loop, else print I to the console, print I, right? So it's like almost like an if statement. If I equals 0, then print I, right? Or if I equals 1, print I. So I is 1, whatever. Add 1 to I, range defaults to incrementing by 1. I assume that you can increase the range by how many ever you want. If you wanted to do that, there must be an option to do that. And then go back to step 2. The results is numbers 0 through 9 are logged to the console in that order. The numbers A, B in range A and B are inclusive of A and exclusive of B. So range 0 through 10 includes 0, but not 10. Huh. Okay. The body of a for loop must be indented, otherwise you'll get a syntax error, right? And that's what we'll see down here when I invariably screw something up. Complete the assignment, missing sections of the for loop and print numbers function so that it prints the numbers 0 through 99 to the console. All right, so, well, it's pretty easy here. Usually it increases in difficulty, so obviously this is the first chapter, the first lesson on loops. So they will give you, a majority of the issues. So in this case, it's for I in range 0, and then what we want to put is 100 because we want it to print up to 99, and so we'll want 0 through 99, right? So that's what and you must put a colon at the end of this, much like an if statement, so that way you can it'll know that. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it is kind of like an if statement, except you're not writing it like if, else if, else if, and then else. So according to the one thing they do have in here is don't edit below these lines. Sometimes they will have whole other sections or whole other files open, so with the use cases or the stuff that you do to do that. So I go run. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so far so good. I think that was probably fairly easy. You can run to check your statements and make sure that everything's correct. You can actually do a solution if you wanted to. If you have a seer stone, it will not penalize you for that. You can do it up to 5 times, or you can buy more later on. But if you do that without a seer stone, you lose your points or your user experience. So let me go get my XP here. There we go. And I will submit. Yay, I got it. And this one was 210 XP plus 42 XP for my daily streak. All right. So that gives me, okay, so I do 2 of these and I've almost got all my XP for the day. The downside is you can only do 1 of these quests in a 24-hour period. So once I get this, then I can't go back and do like the 2000 XP one. I'll just continue on through with those. So, All right, so print I in range. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I've lost everybody because nobody wants to watch me do Python. That's okay. All right, as a reminder, for loop in Python is written like this. Oh, the other thing is, as to piss off more people who don't like AI, they have trained an AI here. If you are stuck on something, you can ask it a question, and it is trained on the lessons in the various backend developer stuff. You can ask Boots a question, and Boots is a bear that you can ask questions of, which something I don't know if TryHackMe and Hack the Box have those, but it would be very helpful for folks that are just sitting here trying to figure out how to do something and beat their head against the wall and not get anything, as many of you may have seen me try to do with TryHackMe and Hack the Box. When I got stuck, then it was like, well, I'm just done. I'm gonna stop streaming. So, all right, so they say, as a reminder, for loop. A for loop in Python is written like this. Yes, for range, yes, print I, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so with I equals range and 0, yes, yes, print numbers function, write a for loop from scratch that logs the numbers 1 to 199 in the console. Okay, so what's the difference this time? Okay, so that logs the numbers. Interesting. Okay, so what's the difference? I mean, I could copy paste. Really, I'm not doing much different. The only difference was they removed the 4 in there, right? So I need to do for I in range 0, 200 colon. Print I. That seems too easy. They're going to get to all the other stuff eventually. I mean, you have a func main down here, I think we've talked about before, but they have test cases, so they're asking that the output's going to be printing numbers 1 through 9, and then it's going to call print numbers, which is going to rerun these over and over and over. The print numbers function, write a for loop from scratch that logs the numbers 0 through 199 of the console. Yeah, we're not returning anything, we're printing it. So that is correct. How hard is this one anyway? Oh, whoops, my bad. Hold on one. 3, okay, so it's not supposed to be that difficult. Okay, all right. Oh, cool. Consistent study for 34 days. And, I'm almost there. Just one more. Achievement unlocked. Yay, platinum. 5.67% of students have earned this achievement. Okay. I don't know how many people they have, but on the Discord, it probably would be interesting to find out. Okay, number 3. Okay, so English code. Okay, so they're doing it again. So this is repetition, right? In the print underscore numbers from 5 to end, the for loop starts at 0. It should start at 5. Only change the start. Okay, so we want to start at 5 because they said it was inclusive. The start is inclusive. The end is exclusive. That is interesting. Does it want? End sounds very infinite, right? So print function, the for loop starts at 0, it should start at 5, only change the start. Oh, huh, interesting. So it's, I don't know what made it pick. Oh, okay, so here's the test parameters, right? It's picking 3 numbers that it's going to use for that, right? So I didn't see the test parameters down here. So these are the test cases that they're using. That's the one thing they also mentioned in I believe comparisons and testing and debugging. So chapter 5 is all about test cases and trying to create test data for your stuff to work against to make sure that it actually works properly, which I found interesting. I didn't know they actually teach how to build that stuff. So the test parameters are here. So 16, 6, and 11 are going to be the end sections. So looks like that worked. Okay, and I got my chest. Nice. So I go over here, I got 500 XP, and so I get another seer stone and 5 gems. So that's pretty cool. And then you can go over here to the shop and buy more things. So if you want to buy another flame to protect your streak, or, you know, solution stone, or get more help from the AI without it causing you an XP penalty, or if you accidentally submit something wrong, you use some armor, or you can get more XP potions. So, I imagine that they built all of this with the idea that they would build this, right? And so I'm finding it, you know, they said that this was like 40,000 lines of code to make this VS Code type interface and whatever. And I mean, if you can do that with just 40,000 lines of code, that's pretty awesome. So far, I haven't found any bugs in the UI itself, which is quite nice. Well, hello, Duya3334. Welcome, and you know, hope you hang out and ask questions. I may not be able to answer them, but maybe we can have the AI answer them for us as we go through and learn boot.dev through Python. So, all right, next. All right, so now we have a question. Why would you want to use a loop for range? Sure, no problem. And if you want to lurk, that's fine too. I'm sure there's people lurking, so you know, feel free to lurk away. I've got a little interstellar radio playing on the tube here, so you can go check them out and listen to some nice lo-fi if you'd like. All right, so prints the numbers 0 through 9 in the console. Why would you want to use a loop? You can do the same thing over and over again without writing the same code, because computer understands loops better than repetitive code. Because loops speed up your app. Well, yeah. No, I'm gonna say this one here. Yes, excellent. Yeah, loops do the same thing over and over without writing the same code. So it's a refactoring or a modularization issue. Hey, Walt, how you doing? Hope you're having a okay day. We're supposed to go to Disneyland tomorrow. It's going to be a good day. We're going to get there early, so we're going to check that out. All right, so yes, it prints numbers 0 through 999 to the console, right? Why does the code on the left print 0 through 999 and not 0 through 1000? Yeah, I already said this. So because print happens only while I is less than or equal to 1000. I believe that is correct, less than or equal to, because it's exclusive. The final number is exclusive, so it would be like not that number. So if you want 999, then you want to put 1000 on there, because print I only happens while I is less than not equal to. Ooh, it almost got me. This one is probably the right answer because it's not less than or equal to 1000. It's less than not equal to. And it's definitely not greater than or equal to, and it is only happens while I is greater, and that's not correct either. This one is the correct answer. This one would have gotten me, and I would have gotten it wrong, and I would have burned an armor. So that is the correct answer, of course. Yay, I earned a sharpshooter's chest. Okay. So yeah, if you get 15 correct lessons in a row, you also get another chest that will give you stuff as well. So I get 5 gems and a baked salmon. So I've gone through Python before, so it's not a huge thing, but I find that I don't know if I'm hoarding this stuff, but you know, they want to make sure that you're learning and you have opportunities to learn. So I'd imagine for folks that this is brand new to or doesn't have a concept of these, working on a bug in my code, also doing production support for a performance issue in prod. Oh man. Well, I don't envy you having to work on a Friday afternoon with a performance issue in prod. We had a similar incident response this week for some stuff that came through our bug bounty program. I will not mention it here because it's still actively being worked on, which is why I'm kind of monitoring Slack right now. It's kind of come to a head and we're in kind of a maintenance mode, but the first couple days this week was asses were being lit on fire. So we're better now, but yeah. White space in Python. The body of a for loop must be indented. Otherwise, you'll get a syntax error. Not only that, but every line in the body of the loop must be indented in the same way. We use for spaces convention. Ooh, they use spaces over tabs. Ooh, religious war. Yeah. Spaces over tabs. Pressing the tab key should automatically insert for spaces. White space matters in Python. That's not the case with everything, though. There's other programming languages that don't care about white space. I want to say Go. Go doesn't care about white space. Go and white space. In programming, white space is a character that represents the space between other characters. Tab and line feed, yes. Area of the space lacking content and marketing. White space is an area of lack of product in it. Right. Non-printing lists. I know that there's some programming languages that don't care too much about white space. But so yeah, it is blank to indent the body of a traditional for loop. It is required. Hit the button. Well, let me refresh the page. Okay, it worked. It worked because I got, yeah, it's correct. Okay. It hung there. I don't know what that was. Maybe it was because I shifted off and went to look at something else. The other thing I like about this is they give you what they call a spell book, which is the stuff that you've learned up until this point. So if you wanted to look at conditionals or git commit, or, because I've been working on git and Linux commands as well. But if you wanted to look up exponents and, exponents in Python, like you were trying to write exponents, I did a lesson on exponents in Python, and so you can go back and remember what the operator is for exponents versus others. So, or if you get stuck on something, they do have an AI that you can ask questions for. Obviously, I don't use that for things like questions, but yeah, it's there. So. All right, range. The range function we've been using in our for loops actually has an optional third param. There we go. Okay. All right. I remember there had to be like a step function, right? Like, 0 through 99, but only do like every third number or something like that. All right, so the third parameter, the step, for I in range 0, 10, 2, print I. So we want the first number is going to be 0. We want it to be not less than or not equal to, less than but not equal to 10 in steps of 2, so increments of 2. The step parameter determines how much to add to I in each iteration of the loop. You can even go backwards. So you put a minus, so 3 to 0 minus 1. So if you did like 50 to 20 and put negative 2, so it'd be 50, 48, 46, 40, 44. I've never actually seen that happen in reverse, but I don't dig into a lot of code, so that's interesting. All right, so they do have tips here sometimes. In the programming world, it's common for the first number in the range to be inclusive and the second is exclusive. So it's just reminding you that was inclusive and exclusive. Fix the for loop in the countdown function. It takes a start and end, but start is always greater than the end. It is supposed to print numbers counting down from the start to end, exclusive, but there's a mistake in the function call. All right. What? So fix the for loop in the countdown function. Okay, there it is. It takes the start and end inputs, but the start is always greater than the end. It's supposed to print numbers counting down from start to end, exclusive, but there's a mistake in the range function call. Range function call. Yes. Okay, so they say don't edit below this line, so there's something here in the code that has to be done. Countdown start to end for I in range. Start end. So starting end inputs. All right, so if we run the code as is, it says print I, start 10 and end at 0, start 20 and end at 10. So we need a range function call. All right, so I think we need a -1, right? Let's see, -1. I think that's what we needed, right? So we go from printing the numbers from 10 to 1, right? And we needed a range in there, so -1 is the correct answer. So I ran the code 15, 14, 13, 12. That makes sense. Yeah, solid. Shaka bra. I actually just mentioned that the other day. That somebody was like, are you of the age where you use Shaka, or you pop up a, yeah. All right. So I will tell you, according to this, I've never done these things before, and as you can see here, there's a break in this right here. So that means all of this additional bits are optional. And they're gonna use real world experience. So in like this Fantasy Quest game that we're gonna create, I will have to, create optional challenges with these items. So sum game. Remember, you can use in-place operators to increase or decrease a variable by any amount. Number of enemies 10. Number of enemies plus 2. The number of enemies is 12. Right. So it's adding 10 plus 2 is 12. Enemies 10 minus equals 2, the number of enemies is going to be 8. Fix the bug in the sum of numbers function. Instead of adding 1 to the total at each iteration, it should add I. For example, instead of 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, etc., we want 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. The desired output is a single number after the loop has finished executing. All right, so plus equals 1. We're going to return the total. Okay. Use code Brian to break off 20% at boot.dev. Hashtags. Well, thank you, Age of Music. I appreciate that. I really should reach out to these folks and say, hey, I've been pimping out boot.dev on here for a bit. Please give me monies. But yeah, gotta get that fat loot. I really should just reach out and see if they want to sponsor the stream when we're doing this. But yeah, I mean, if you use the code up top, the Banner Lord thing, feel free to do so. I will say that my company that I work for now did reimburse me for a year worth of membership on this, so it didn't cost me anything to actually do a year's membership on this. But given the amount of information and the amount of stuff that's on here, $250 with the code that actually Walt gave us, CPO Parker there gave us, you get 25% off for using that. So just a thought. And they do have a ton of free stuff on here, so you can always give it a good try. Just to not hammer that point home, but if you in the Python section, you can go all the way up to like chapter 4 on this before you actually have to start paying for it. So get free month codes and marble shit. It works for Tibbo. Oh, okay. Tibbo, huh? I don't know what Tibbo is. Tibbo. Yeah. What is this thing? Yeah, that's interesting. Tiberius. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. get some free month codes and yes, absolutely. Yeah, I could definitely, talk to see what they could do about that. My thing is, I probably don't get, I get ones of followers and viewers. So is it worth their time and effort to do so? But the worst I could say is no. I did the same thing earlier this week for an interview. I was like, I know the CISO. I interview with this guy, and he's like, I've got 400 people that are better qualified. The only thing the only real ace you have is that you know me. And I was like, I understand that. If I didn't at least talk to you, the answer would have been completely no. So I had nothing to lose by doing so. He's like, I completely understand. And I was like, I feel kind of bad because I have a job currently. Hopefully we'll continue to have my job. People show up for streams if there's going to be free shit. Oh, that's cool. I didn't think of that. That's true. The problem is I kind of have to have, the cost for me to have those things has to be pretty low too. So, I could give you free game codes if y'all would use them. I get Twitch shit all the time. That's like, free game codes, but I don't play the games. I could hand out game codes, I guess, if that was the case. And if you're here for League of Legends, you're going to be sadly, without, because I don't play the League of the Legends or whatever. So Gar7 gives away a ton of THM vouchers. They give him and Tiberius a bunch of them. That's cool. I actually was trying to do that when I first started streaming, giving out THM vouchers, but nobody wanted them. So as a matter of fact, I would give out codes and people wouldn't use them. So it just felt like, yeah. So, but anyway, we'll get back to it. That's a good idea. It's a good idea, Asian Music. I can always reach out to THM. I should have actually reached out to them when I was at DEF CON because they had Try Hack Me and Hack the Box running at the same time. It was kind of funny. Last year at DEF CON, their booths were right next to one another in the main hall. So it was like, I don't say Hatfields and McCoys, but it was direct competitors right next to one another. And both, it was like people would go to the one place and get free swag, and then you'd see them walk away. They'd walk, and then they'd turn and go right over to the next one to get free swag. So I thought it was funny. I could have come away with a lot more vendor shit than I did, but damn. Okay, that was a mouse. My bad. Yeah, that was a mouse. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, gets people addicted to their platform. Yeah, I need to have that happen here. So quit breaking things. Yes, quit breaking things. Breaking down security. Actually, it was this, when I bought this table, my desk, I had a laptop pull-out bar thing that I've never used because my desk is just ginormous. And I should probably just remove it, but I don't have a place to put it other than just to get rid of it, which might actually be a thing. So anyway, back to our assignment. Fix the bugs. Instead of adding 1 to the total at each iteration of the loop, it should be I. So it feels like I just need to put I right here. Let's do that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so 5 skipped, 0. Oh, skipped is a new. Okay, so yeah, when you're doing the test cases over here, they give you your run cases. You should always have an awkward interaction on FB Marketplace. Awkward pause reminds me of Craig Ferguson's show at the end of the night with the guest that he's got on. He's like, you want to have an awkward pause? And they're like, yeah, all right. Yeah. So this is the part that I'm going to work on. They have this whole other section here where it's from main import star, and all the code that is actually running in the background is going to run in this other side. So when you hit run, this is what came up. Why did it skip those other 5? It says 5 skipped. What did it skip? Looks like it worked. So. Oh, that's weird. I can't. Oh, okay. Wow, that's interesting. When you're over in main test.py, you can't You can't view the solution. Okay, yay, that worked. Okay, so instead of calling it 1, you just change it to I because that's interesting. Okay. That was a premium content. Yes, that was Craig Ferguson was amazing. I actually have listened to his podcast called Joy, which trying to listen to those in order. So he had Tony Hawk on. I skipped the ones with Kathy Lee Gifford on it because she was a little weird. But she's had a bunch of folks on, so it's good to hear his voice because he's pretty funny. Just listened to the one that he did with the comic who did the voice for Jeff Peterson. So, all right, next. Sum game number 2. Complete the sum of odd numbers function. It should calculate the sum of all the odd numbers starting at 1 up to, but not including, the given end number and return the result. Hey, do you think that this is the best way to learn programming? It is a way to learn programming. Now, from my experience, and for some folks who've been on with me for a long time, exactly, age. It's 100%. It's practice. The one thing they did, and again, not to sell this, but they're actually trying to make it a project-based thing. Like, so you're going to learn. So part of the path for learning all this stuff is first you're supposed to learn Python. And then you learn Linux. So if you've never done Linux before, I guess the idea is you're going to do this inside a command line or something. Then you're going to learn Linux, and then you're going to learn Git. It feels reverse for me, where it's like you should learn the plumbing before you learn how to actually do programming, but whatever. You're going to start doing projects after this. So you're going to learn how to make a book bot. You're going to learn, you're going to make a game like Asteroids. So there's other things like a static site generator. Damn, okay. Data structures and algorithms. The reason I'm learning Python again is because a lot of Python and AI kind of, fit together like peanut butter and, spaghetti sauce or whatever. So you're going to learn these various projects with it, and then you're going to learn memory management. I think this is a C course on that. And then there's going to be a personal project where I guess I have to create a project. So there you go. You can't be a developer if you can't build your own stuff. Theory and foundation are important, but you also need to fly solo. Purpose of this project is twofold. So at some point, when I get through all of this, I'm going to be building my own thing. So stand by in the year 2027. I will be learning my own personal project. But then you're going to learn Go, and you're going to learn API. This one is going to be, you're going to learn API. You're going to create a small API. Going to learn how to build a Pokedex. So, my Pokemon Go skills are going to be at their peak. And then you're going to learn other stuff as well. So, and now we're going to learn CI/CD pipelines at the end of this. And then finally learn how to find a programming job. According to the Discord, they have had people who've gone through all of this and have actually become programmers. So again, like I said, it's not the best way. It is a way. And to Age of Music's point, it depends on the best way to learn. I mean, I know people that can pick up a book and go do it, or watch a video on YouTube and do it. But for me, it's like I don't work in programming. I didn't come from a programming background. In security, I would say, you have to have some kind of programming experience, because if you're going to do pen testing or red teaming or threat intelligence or data analysis, you're going to need to have some kind of programming language knowledge, because data analysis or threat intelligence, you're going to be using Jupyter notebooks, which is another thing I want to learn, where it's, you're documenting and you've got code in there. So you have to know code. So yeah. And maybe they don't want to scare the Windows-based users that would want them to learn Python. After getting comfortable with Python, maybe they hope you would trust them to teach you Linux. Exactly, 100%. 100% Wald. As a matter of fact, at the end of Linux here, I think what they do is they teach you about like VS Code and stuff like that. I think they suggest at the end here. I actually got a little ahead of myself on one of these, but one of them was like programs you can use for, I got a little ahead of myself on section 4 here. but they do teach you, like, you know, changing your paths and stuff like that. So yeah, they want you to not be scared about the, yeah, so you're gonna learn about, you know, different package managers, NeoVim, VS Code, you know, basically install VS Code and use that. I have VS Code, I've had it for a few years. But yeah, they're gonna teach you a development environment, right? Basically, so you won't be using this UI forever to do things. So yeah, they are definitely trying to work you through the fundamentals as you go. I do find it interesting that the CI/CD pipelines are at the end, but there's also additional stuff you can learn for deeper learning. Git, additional Git stuff, Kubernetes, pub sub-architecture, cryptography, learning algorithms, building a web crawler, and then they just updated their JavaScript, which is now almost twice the size that it was before. So. But yeah, the Docker and CI/CD are like really deep in the knowledge here. I'm assuming this is in order, but if you want to learn Docker ahead of time, I don't think there's any reason why you can't go and learn Docker, you know, to start with. You could probably jump around a little bit, but I would say if you aren't used to programming languages, you'd want to probably start in this order. For some of us who are learning Linux, this is an easy way to keep your daily streak up. So you could just go into Linux, oh, I can touch a file, whatever, done. Age said my old boss would put me to task during downtime, build a web scraper that gets friends of friends of friends on FB. You cannot use beautiful soup, you can only use URL lib, yada yada. So it's nice that people are challenging you to do that. Build me an IRC client in PHP, gross. That is gross. You should, ugh. Yeah, exactly, Age. Why? Yeah. Make it memory safe in PHP as well. So yeah, you got that one going for you. All right, so now we're going to calculate the sum of odd numbers starting to 1, but not including the end number. All right, and then our test cases over here. So 4 to 4, 6 to 9. So we have some run cases and some test cases there because there's no documentation and I know that it can be done. Okay, well, you know, if your boss is, you know, Captain PHP and has done that himself or herself, yeah. All right, sum of odd numbers, total equals 0. Range is 0 to end based on these use cases, so 0 to 4. So in this case, it would be 0, 1, 2, 3. So 1 and 3 would be 4. And then we're going to do 6 through 9. So he's a little computer. I can't do that, Dave. All right, so let me think. Let me see what happens when I run it. Sometimes I just like to run it. Okay, so we have 0 passed, 2 failed, 6 skipped. My guess is it skipped because the conditions are such that you can't get any of that. All right. The data for that use case doesn't fit. Like 0 to 0 would be skipped. 1 to 0 would be skipped. Some of these are backwards. That would be also why they potentially would be skipped. Firehose method was useful. I don't necessarily pack bullshit libraries into my stuff because I want to use one little function of it. Exactly. Yeah, that's the one thing I've always. I asked them in the Discord. I was like, hey, I want to do your stuff, but I want to learn like APIs by like. Have you thought about build an API? You know, because everybody's like, oh, you just, install half a dozen dependencies and you're golden. And everybody's like, well, there's a way to do it in Go. And I was like, well, Go's like number 15 on the list. So at some point when you go through that list of things to do, you'll get to HTTP methods and you'll start building like a miniature API. They really want you to build things from bare metal, because I was like, I don't think a developer can actually build from bare metal at this point. It's always like import 15 dependencies and I've got a Python API. It's like, you ain't learning shit. It's like somebody could put a vulnerability inside that package, and we have numerous examples of that. You don't even know what's in that package, right? So, and you make one, you copy paste something just wrong, or you misspell one of the package names, and instead of downloading what you thought was good, you're downloading something that doesn't fit, or it's malware, or somebody has typo squatted on something, and yeah, so I mean, there's a ton of things there. It was like you're just taking that shit for granted. So cough, S-bomb cough. Do not threaten me with a bad time. Working on S-bomb stuff at work too. So the good thing is people understand it, and they're like, yeah, we kind of understand, and we want to do that. So we've identified our areas of resistance and trying to help them be better at what they're doing. So okay, so sum of odd numbers and total equals 0 for I in range, and then we want to calculate the sum of all the odd numbers starting at 1 up to, but not including the given n number, and return the result. Tips: what number should you start with if you only want odd numbers? I would say you'd want to start at 1, because 0 is technically a number all by itself. How much should you increment by each iteration of the loop to get the next odd number? So you'd want to increment by 2. So we'd want, I think that's the right answer. Yeah. Yes. Very cool. Most APIs work best with at least a small framework. Some languages can do APIs with a minor amount of framework. Yes, that's my understanding too, but it's like, what was, if you go do a search for like, make an API, what do they tell you how to do? It's like, oh, yeah, here's Postman. Okay, great. You're going to have to, you're just gonna put a bunch of shit inside here using Postman, and you're done, right? It's like, when I talk about like, when I want to build an API, it's like, I want to build an API. It's like, I don't want to just install a bunch of freaking, bits and go. That age, exactly. I was trying to remember the Python based when it was like, yeah, install Flask and done. And you're like, okay, you didn't do anything, right? And you're dealing with the performant issues of Flask, right? Now, somebody says here you can create a Python API in 12 minutes. I don't know if that's actually the case. My guess is it's good. It says build an API from scratch, but my guess is yet again, it's, use some kind of
programming.
Let me see here. What is it? Want to learn API, want to learn REST, Fireship. Yeah, I imagine, what will I learn? So yeah, NPM init. So you've got, yes. Yeah, import Express. So you're gonna import Express, you're gonna import other packages. I hate, I'm not trying to be a purist, but it's like, what does Express do, right? What does Postman do? So you're gonna require an app, you're gonna require a bunch of stuff, right? You're just, putting in a bunch, if you want an API in 12 minutes, you're definitely going to get it with this. But my point is you haven't learned anything about the underlying idea of APIs. So yeah, that's my whole thinking behind it. What the hell is going on? Please tell me we don't have a fire in our area. Fuck. West Highway 79, San Felipe Road. Okay, 10 acres. It's fire season again. Well, it's never not fire season, I guess. South of Warner Springs. Okay, so that's north and east of us. Okay. And they've got things on site, helicopters and such. So, okay, and the Margarita Fire, 1.25 acres. Okay. Oh, 125 acres. No, 1.25 acres. All right. Sorry. Anyway. All right, so while loop. We're going to while and, yeah. Sunny and 55 here. It was actually like, I want to say it was in the low 80s yesterday, and it's actually not too bad today. I actually got out after my leg workout at the gym today and was, enjoying the weather. So it wasn't bad outside. Python has another type of loop, the while loop. I kind of view you as a leader voice in the industry. Have you ever looked into Haro? One Age of Music. I am not a leader voice, trust me. I appreciate you. Haro. I do not know what a Haro is. The connectivity platform. No, I could be. I just, you know, I appreciate you. Oh, help a reporter out. Oh, oh. Join a community of journalists, content creators, PR pros, and subject matter experts for communities for collaboration and brand growth. I would love that. Oh, Haro was acquired by Vocus. Vocus merged with Sizen. Haro was Sizen's brand until it was retired in 2024. So there must be other Haro-like sites like Connectively or what have you. Yeah. Sometimes they look for experts to go on TV. I have seen stories like that where it's like local news stories like talking to security people. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? You know, never seen or heard of him in my life, but he's got a nice suit on and he talks, you know, nicely. And I would, I'm afraid I'd be too blunt. I'd have to be like hopped up on ADHD meds to make sure that I didn't, you know, run off at the mouth or whatever. Yeah, you know, I would definitely be down for that, especially if it would make me a thought leader or whatever. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't mind that. That would be something interesting to do. You know, if I was unemployed or, you know, needing some you know, something to pad out my resume when I was looking for other stuff. But yeah, it might be something I could do. It would depend on what they wanted me to talk about, though. If they wanted me to talk about geopolitical tensions right now, I'd be afraid of what I would actually say, being a veteran, and the regime that's going on is not exactly friendly right now. So, while loop is a loop that continues while a condition remains true. The syntax is simple. They would want you to talk about beep boop. Yeah, exactly. What do you think about this breach? Well, they fucked up real good. Okay, that's not exactly what I should be saying. The other thing, helping out a reporter would be like, I'd probably have to get that cleared through my company to be able to speak publicly in that respect. So again, that would be like one of those things where it'd be like, I'd have to find out if my company was okay with me doing that. It probably would be a no. But I definitely would be something, if I stopped working at this place, I could probably look at and do. So, okay, while one, so one is true, print one evaluates true. Prints one evaluates to true, one evaluates to true, continuing. The above example is hard-coded to continue forever, creating an infinite loop. That's bad. Typically a while loop condition is comparison or variable that determines when the loop ends. Num equals 0 while num is greater than 3. Num enumerate 1, so add 1 to num and then print the number. So 0, 1, 2, 3. It would stop when you get to less than or equal to 3. Wait, so when the alligator mouth eats 3, that means it's bigger than 3. Okay, while the number is less than 3. The alligator mouths get me every time, right? Okay, so in Fantasy Quest, player characters regenerate health while standing still while away from enemies. That's interesting. Kind of reminds me of a game I play on my phone, where it's like if you're away from, if you're not within proximity of a bad guy, like if you're two squares away, you'll actually slowly regenerate if you have that capability. Complete the regenerative function using a while loop. It takes current health, max health, and enemy distance integers. While regenerating health, a character gains 1 health each iteration until it reaches the max health amount. The enemy distance then shortens by 2 for each iteration. If an enemy is at a distance of 3 or less from the character is not able to regenerate health. Return the current health after regeneration stops. Oh my goodness, this is real here, boy. Ensure that the return statement is placed outside the while loop while correctly returning the final value after the loop completes. Okay. So we're passing it through. So this is the output that we're going to see fail. Okay, current health is 8, max health is 20, enemy distance, or max health is 10, enemy distance 20, expected health 10. Okay, so this failed. 5 were skipped, 3 failed. Let's see. Run cases. All right, so there's 4 things. All right. All right, so we have regenerate function, current health, max health, enemy distance. All right. So character gains 1 health each iteration until it reaches the max health amount. So I think while current health is less than max health. That kind of makes sense. So while the current health is less than max health, we don't want to say equals, right? We're going to say, actually we want to say current, we want to say current health equals I? We'll see. If worst comes to worst, we'll hit up the bear down here and we'll ask some questions. All right, so because we can't say num, it's current. Actually, I don't think we have to put that. I don't think we need to put that because we already have that data up here in the test patterns, right? So these are the numbers, the inputs for current health is going to be input 1. So yeah, these will be the inputs, and then the expected output. So yeah, I don't think we'll need to have that like it says where num equals 0. So we'll just say while current health is less than max health. Character gains 1 health until it reaches max health. So current health plus equals 1. Sounds about right. All right. And then so we want enemy distance minus equals 2. Sounds right, because every iteration we want the current health to equal 1. Okay, and then we want an if an enemy is at a distance of 3 or less from the character. So enemy distance. Okay. Then we say if enemy distance is, let's see, if 3 or less, so equals 2, so equals, if it's less than or equal to 3, we want to, he said place the return statement outside the while loop to correctly return the final value after the loop completes. I feel like I'm not doing that right. Because it feels like I need to put return current health. All right. Oh, pupil. Wow. Okay, so that, okay, I see what they're talking about now. All right, save. Then complete the regenerative function. And it's going to all right, I'm gonna phone a friend. So, so what I like to do is I usually put in what I've put in here. So copy, you can copy it in. So my question to Boots is going to be, the initial question I'm going to ask to Boots is, sometimes after I ask the question, I'm like, well, that was a stupid question, but it's like, I want to ask, how will I know how close how will regeneration stop when the enemy gets too close? See, that sounds like a stupid question. So let me copy that in. And then I hit enter. Then I'm gonna ask Boots a question. So it's getting its question. So it says, in your current code, you're on the right track with checking if enemy distance is less than 3, but you haven't specified what should happen when this condition is met. Oh. When the enemy gets too close, distance of 3 or less, you need to break out of the loop entirely because the regeneration would stop. Right. The break statement is, oh. I don't see a break here, so that's new, okay. The break statement, if enemy distance is less than or equal to 3. Okay, so I did that. This tells Python if the enemy is too close, stop regeneration loop immediately. Remember, your loop should also check from the beginning if regeneration is even possible if an enemy is already too close or if health is already maxed out. Consider incorporating both conditions in your while loop condition. Try revising your solution with this in mind. Oh, okay. So while current health is less than max health, it would be like and enemy distance is greater than 3. It feels like that should work. And then if, then break. And then return current health. Nope, still didn't work right. It did give me a little more, so it says expected health 10, actual health 0. It did give me an actual output here on this one, so that's nice. You can actually expand the window here so you can see the output of everything that came up. So current health is 0, and then current health is 8. Okay, so 0, 0, and 8. Okay, all right. So there'll be different submit cases than the run case. So it'll do all the run cases again, but then it'll also add 5 new additional submit cases. Usually, when all the run cases work, all the submit cases will also work. All right, so in your current code, you're on the right track with checking if enemy distance is less than or equal to 3, but you haven't specified what should happen when this condition is met. This tells break. This tells Python if the enemy is too close, then stop the regeneration loop immediately. Okay, so it feels like maybe I need to put this. No, that's it. Is it, oh, less than or equal to 3. There we go. Nope, still not working. Okay. All right, so we will, let's see if the enemy is too close. So I had this right, except for the break part, which is great. Your loop should also check from the beginning if regeneration is even possible. So distance is less than 3, so that will do that. The enemy is already too close or health is maxed out. Consider incorporating both conditions in your while loop condition. Is current health what I want to actually send out? I want to see what print. Have you bothered to join Blue Sky yet? Yes, I'm on Blue Sky Age of Music. I am at brianbrake.com. You can find me on Blue Sky at brianbrake.com. Print F. Current health. I think that's how I need to do it. Okay. Did that change anything when I did that? No. Didn't actually print correctly. That was weird. All right. Okay, copy. I added the regeneration being added the enemy check condition to the while statement. Nothing changed. Oh, duh. That's it. Okay, it was I don't know why I put the ampersand. I should have put and. It looks like I did it right. So what do you think about Sal1 from THM? Actually I haven't been on Try Hack Me for a while. Sal1? I saw a lot of these organizations were going the OSCP route because OSCP is trying to, OSCP now expires if you're, going for certain levels. Every so many years, you have to be, recertified. Our current regime or the government at the time wanted certs that expired for all intents and purposes, like CISSP. You have to do training, you have to do CPEs, you have to do consistent, continual training to stay abreast of the industry. OSCP made it like that, so that there's now a version of that. I think if you have OSCP, you can be grandfathered in, but Security Analyst Level 1, an entry-level hands-on security analyst certification built by industry experts. I don't hate it. I think TryHackMe and Hack the Box are big enough entities and known enough entities in the industry to use that. My problem is I don't see this certification on job descriptions. Maybe if they show that they're ISO certified, or, I think if you were a security analyst and you could prove that this is a legitimate, get noticed by top employers. Who's the top employers asking for this? That's my only thing. I would say, this is bullshit. This is such bullshit. I don't like this. Because this makes it sound like if you get this, you're guaranteed to get a job. And nothing that I have seen in the last 4 to 6 months leads me to believe that jobs are just going to drop into your lap because you've got this. So one thing I would tell people, get it, but don't have any, back, 15 years ago, I got a CISSP and a degree because I thought it would be a way to get around HR screens, which at the time it kind of was. So I, went in $20,000 worth of bachelor degree debt to get a bachelor's degree. And, I went to a boot camp that my company sent me to so I could work on DoD networks because I didn't want to get the IAM certification through the DoD. I would say it's, obviously these companies are cool with it. If you want to go and get a job at Accenture as a pen tester or something, yeah, you can definitely get on there. Been top 1% on that platform for years now. Zero parades or jobs. I can't see paying $300 for a cert from them changing that. It's 100%. And, some people do put, hey, I'm in the top 1% on TryHackMe or Hack the Box. I think it depends on the kind of company. Now, if TryHackMe was like, you get certified and we will help you get a job with Accenture. I mean, yeah, you're probably work 80 hours a week and 105% travel. But if you're just starting out in the industry and you're hungry and you want to, jump in shit, like that. The only other thing I would think is if you're going to get a certification from these companies, they should guarantee you some job placement because you've spent time and effort on their site. They should have like a Salesforce pipeline or something going directly to those companies. Look, this person's SAL 1 certified. You can hire them. And, these companies, especially Accenture, especially Salesforce, KPMG, the big four, they're just, grinding people up. You'll get burnt out. You'll move on to something else. But you'll have that kind of like where I work or where, if you work at a FANG or something like that, you're expecting that you're going to get burnt out and you'll move on to something else because you've worked at those FANGs or Mangos for, several years or whatever. And so that is, I would say, the only other thing that TryHackMe and Hack the Box have not done yet is have some kind of partnership with Salesforce or Accenture to go, okay, these people are good to go. We've trained them for you. We've built up their skills. They have the necessary and fucking Accenture and Salesforce and KPMG and all these. They've got hundreds and thousands of clients who need people. And if they're using Salesforce at their organization, they've already spending a lot of money with Salesforce because they have to hire Salesforce people to fix their Salesforce implementations. Accenture always has red teamers, auditors, accountants, folks coming in. Accenture could be like, hey, TryHackMe's got a pipeline here for security people. They're going to train them up with stuff that we know that they can show physical, real world experience because, here's a lab and you're going to do these things. That's the only thing I think the TryHackMe and Hack the Box types are missing, is a dedicated pipeline to Accenture. If you want to work at Accenture, you get these certifications from us, you pay us $1,000. It's almost like, but you're going to spend hundreds of hours working on this. If you really want to, get better, if you want to get out of your hell desk job. I'm not sure which part of this is. Hey Tomcat, how you doing? But yeah, I think that's what TryHackMe needs to do, or what Hack the Box wants to do, if they're going to pursue these kinds of certifications like this, and they say, oh, you're going to be able to work at, it's developed in collaboration with Accenture and Salesforce. So if you get this certification and you're not getting a job at Accenture or Salesforce, TryHackMe can go, just they're part of the problem. Because if they've developed this in collaboration with them, you should be able to go to Accenture and go, look, I'm Sal 1 certified. And Accenture would be like, welcome to Accenture. Yeah, here's $35,000 a year or whatever it is. I don't know how much they're paying for that. But if they're hiring an Accenture, and Accenture's always hiring, Salesforce is always hiring, you should be able to get that. Oh, trusted by 4 million users, or trusted by 4 million users. That's 100% correct right there. Trusted by 4 million. TryHackMe is the world's largest cybersecurity platform. I have no doubt that they can say that using specific metrics. On Tuesday, January 14th, 2024, we are the largest cybersecurity platform. They built this with Accenture and Salesforce. They equip you with valuable skills by top cybersecurity employers. Valued by top security employers. Does Accenture and Salesforce value this? If I went to Accenture's website, looked for a security analyst position, does it say, hey, we take people with SAL 1 certifications, or this will make it more likely for you to get hired by somebody who has a SAL 1 certification? Now, that means basically you're paying $300, to Age of Music's example here, to get hired at Salesforce, if that was the case. And there could be some of that was like, somebody's going to do that. Get certified and get hired. Access your digital certificate, celebrate your achievement with a Credly, physical welcome kit. Okay. SAL 1's an excellent starting point. So Harun Mahmoud, detection response at Salesforce. See, that's what I'm trying to figure out. If you get the cert, does it senior security analyst, somebody named Matt Hat? Okay, great. Another cybersecurity practitioner. None of this says that getting that cert will actually get you a job at the Accentures or the Salesforces of the world. You're still going to have to interview. And if they're not hiring, or if they pass on you, there could be a perceived notion that, that's what I'm thinking now. It's like, if you don't get it, or if you get it, you should be getting, you should be able to put you should be able to put in a resume to Salesforce or Accenture and go, here, I'm SAL 1 certified, give me a job. But yeah, they can turn that 2 into a 1 on that price point. Tomcat, yeah, it does feel like bait, especially when it was, the curriculum was developed in partnership with those two. I would be entirely, I'm somewhat okay with that. If you got people like, how do I break into the information security industry? Well, you have to get a certification or something. I'm not saying it's going to be harder for you to get into Accenture or Salesforce, but, depending on how, you have to show, that's that whole catch-22, right? To get into the industry, you have to have work experience in that industry, but to get work experience, to get in the industry, you have to have, it's that whole cyclical thing, right? This gives you experience that is baselined by Accenture or Salesforce. You should be able to go to Salesforce and go, look, I have a SAL 1 certification. I have no problem with that. The problem I have with it is if you apply at Salesforce and you say, hey, I've got this, I've done this thing, I can show you that I've done this, I have the Credly thing, I've done all this, and Salesforce is like, yeah, we're looking for somebody more qualified. Then you're going to be like, what the fuck? And so it's like, I could see some of that where it's like maybe somebody would be like, I got this certification thinking I was going to get on to one of these companies and they told me to go pack sand. You know, or the offer that they're going to give you is so lowballed, it's like, I can't live on, you know, whatever a base is, you know. So caveat emptor, you know, if you think you can, you know, if you don't have anything and you're like IT person, or you're coming from another industry, and you think, well, I've seen all these, you know, articles on cybersecurity job, you know, gaps and talent shortages, and you believe that shit and you want to get into information security for whatever reason. I'm not sure why this day and age I would get into cybersecurity. Have at. But, you know, just keep your expectations tempered. Don't expect to get a job getting this certification. Welcome back. Yes, I know, I already have an account. Thank you very much. But yeah. Yeah, and at some point it'll be like, it's $300 now. You know, I don't know how much it is for this, but, you know, you're going to spend X number of dollars for that. Depending on how fast it is that you know, can get through this. Yeah. CompTIA, Festo, RSM. Can you charge me in local currency? Can I get VAT? Yeah. So, yeah, a few more details. Premium rooms, free rooms. So it's still free if you wanted to do that. Hour a day. Okay. I would hope that the interface has gotten better. The last time I remember trying to do those was on a split screen with stuff on this side and stuff on this side, and yeah, it kind of worked and it kind of didn't. And I had problems with copy paste back and forth. But you know, if you can get a security analyst job at Accenture, you know, it's not awful. I mean, they have a lot of, I would imagine, mobility in that company if you wanted to go move to red teaming or threat intelligence or whatever. You know, have at. But I was like, you know, I haven't seen a security analyst position that said, hey, you know, give me a SAL 1 security. Okay, so here's an industrial security analyst, cybersecurity analyst job in San Diego, because that's where I live. Senior cybersecurity analyst. See, I don't, again, where's the junior cybersecurity analyst roles? Ooh, who's Alan? Yeah, I would never be able to pass the drug test. Because I do the edibles. Cyber vulnerability researcher. Okay. I mean, I'd be completely upfront with that. I use them for anxiety. So maybe if I didn't work where I worked, I wouldn't have such anxiety, but you know. Yeah, see, I don't see a lot of junior roles here. Maybe I should like junior entry. There it is, entry level. We'll do that. Entry level, San Diego, or yeah, let's say San Diego. Yeah, I don't see anything in that. It's just 4 years of the job, so there's always the risk of being, you know, I'm 45 years old. A lot of things in the world are causing me to question whether or not we're actually doing a good job, not where I work, but in general. And there's always the threat of layoffs, right? Because AI is taking over the world or whatever. So yeah, I mean, really my anxiety has just started from the pandemic. So it just is what it is. Here's an IT systems analyst. You know what I'd love to see? What I'd love to see is if they are really like, you know, you can get hired with this. I want to see jobs on their site saying, hey, this job will take an SLA 1 as a certification. So TryHackMe needs to have a job board or something where it's like you can go and search for jobs that will take this position or this certification. So that's the one thing that's the other thing I would say is if they don't have a pipeline or like a, hey, you get this certification, you're going to go work at Accenture, you can go work at Salesforce, or, you know, sign up here for like uber special ability to get into there. They need to have a job board that says these jobs will take this certification or will at least give you better than a sniff on that. So, all right. Y'all, I'm not pretty. I'm not pretty. I have a face for radio as well. I'm not pretty. But yeah, so that, I mean, there's, we went down this rabbit hole, but TryHackMe needs to do better, to use the vernacular of another, try harder from that to work to get. Okay, I'm gonna submit this, so. Oh, that's wrong. Damn. 7 passed, 1 failed. Why did it fail? Womp womp. I got 7 of them. It's just that one use case. All right. So the good thing about, you can ask the bear, I was like, I had 1 use case fail, but uncertain as to why. I think it was all the zeros. Let me double check. Yeah, I think it was the all zeros one. Oh no. It was the 931 actual health. Okay. No, it was the one with 9310 or 91039. No, sorry. It was the 91039 use case. Since 9 is less than 10, this is true. Enemy distance greater than 3. No, 3 is not greater than 3, so this is false. Key insight, the instructions say if an enemy is at a distance of 3 or less, the character is not able to regenerate health. This is why the condition enemy distance is, oh, okay, so the equals killed me here. I think that's, okay. Shit. Oh, wait. Okay. But see, now I've got more that failed. I don't get that. No, I didn't. Okay, so I have current health, max health, and enemy distance is no, I had great, okay, copy. I failed a telephone interview last week. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at changing music. I thought you were talking about my failed use cases. Yeah, I failed 2 here because of this. Well, what happened? Did you, how did you fail it? Did it, did they ask you the wrong questions, or you just weren't prepped and ready? I'm imagining a lot of things that can go wrong with the hiring there. You know what? I think it's probably that. No. Guy I was talking to couldn't parse or I had proper experience in networking and server deployments. Oh. That sucks. Was it a thing where was he looking at your resume and was like, oh, I don't see where you had server experience? Or Tried to spoon it in. Eventually, I became exhausted with his shit. Yeah, I would. Sometimes the human problem that I see with hiring is that people they're threatened because it's like, well, if I bring in somebody smarter than me, for a job that I'm working on them with, then there's the threatened bit there. There's a lot of companies out there that try to, Oh, there it was. Okay, so I had to get rid of the equal sign up on both of those. So, okay, so that's the issue that occurred. Sometimes people suck at no, a lot of people, everybody sucks at interviewing because there's biases, right? I have sat with people that was looking for Linux administrators, and they'd ask the most esoteric shit. It's like, why are you asking me what the switches for LS are for? It's like, I can Google that shit. I still Google that shit to this day, other than LS and LAH and whatever. But if I need to run LS and figure out by date or something, I'm gonna fucking man page that stuff, Yeah, yeah, that sucks, Age of Music, because the problem is you're definitely qualified for the job because you got an interview for it. If the person interviewing is lacking, and I hope that you're able to talk to a recruiter or somebody after that and go, hey, how did it go? But I would say, here's some feedback. The guy I interviewed with is garbage. He couldn't figure out where I was, qualified in server administration or, whatever, networking and server deployments. And, hopefully you'll be able to give some feedback. That's fine. You don't want to work there, but it's like, I wish it wasn't like, somebody's either being dense or they're being threatened because, hey, somebody's coming in that's more qualified. I've been that way. The unfortunate thing is I was like, when I interviewed with that person, I was like, wow, they're hella smart. And this was at CrowdStrike when I was interviewing there. I could see the writing on the wall where it's like, I definitely don't have what it takes to be a red teamer because this guy from Optum is just fucking shit hot and we need to have him. And so we hired him anyway. I knew that I wasn't going to be a red teamer, and I started my exit strategy of I need to find a better job as a project manager or something, and that's when I ended up going to Leviathan. I interviewed with a rad company on Wednesday. They have office dogs. It's not a river in Brazil, is it? Age? Because I hear that they have a office dog culture kind of thing. Okay, good. Okay, so I got this. This worked. So I needed to have 2 conditional statements. So while the distance was greater than 3 for the enemy distance, current health, you add 1, enemy distance minus 2. If enemy distance becomes less than 3, which feels like, and then return current health. So that actually worked. Small joint based out of Montana. Oh, okay. Do they need you to be in an office for that age? Oh my goodness. Okay, we're a little long here today. So how? Oh wow, that was a difficulty of 8. I've never had a red one before, so that's new. So now we've got some optional stuff. So I could actually skip all of these 5 if I didn't want to have to do them, but they're actually quite good to do for reinforcement of these things. Plus you get, some of these actually have a screen reader, which if you...
Match countdown.
Yeah.
You need a timer to count down the start.
And he's British, so he sounds nice. They have an office in Spokane. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna go. Let's go see if there's anybody online right now. Twitch. See if there's anybody on the line right now. Chai Hat. Oh, Chai Hat's on.
variable over here. So this
Okay, let's go hit up Chai Hat. I feel like my life is going to take me back to Montana. I'll probably get a couple acres and start a dog ranch. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right, well, we're gonna go raid Chai Hat, and hope you will all have a good weekend. I'm gonna be at Disneyland, so if you're at Disneyland tomorrow, come find me. Come find me. We'll probably be at Indiana Jones or Pirates of the Caribbean. So have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on Monday or Tuesday. We'll do some more boot.dev or something like that. Okay, we'll talk soon.